Please pause and take the time to read this. If who I am upsets you, you need to speak up and tell me that for yourself. All right, here we go. New information has come to light, and that is because Vix's abuse at Anthrocon is not an isolated incident. A victim of Vix's, who has decided to stay anonymous, has told me that Vix's abuse of him has continued up to 3 months. And here's the thing, with all the interactions I had with Vix, even going back to the beginning of last year, I tried to reach out, I tried to talk, I tried to understand, but it seems like he understands perfectly. So here we are, a year later after telling Vix to treat people better, and even after a year more of experience, nothing has changed and he's still hurting people. And just to be clear too, every testimony, every bit of evidence, and every screenshot, I got express consent from the person to show you.
Vix got upset at me, and after that period of me asking why he was upset, trying to figure out what was going on, he kind of just said that he doesn't care about anyone, he doesn't care about me, he doesn't care if he ever sees me again, or if he ever talks to me again, and then I just go kill myself for all he cares. Mostly just said a bunch of very hurtful things. Yeah, and it was kind of continued that way for the previous 3 months, and it just kind of kept escalating at the con.
But yes, you heard that right. For the 3 months leading up to Anthrocon, Vix was abusing this friend of his. Backed up by this screenshot where he states that Vix only told him to himself that night at Anthrocon, but has continuously been abusing him and telling him terrible and hurtful things for the past 3 months. Since Vix likes to pretend that Anthrocon didn't happen, I asked this victim again if he was told to himself at Anthrocon, and here's the result. Not only that, but this person thinking things that he himself states that he hopes that he never will again. It is very clear that this person might have been close to actually himself. While I can't say Vix is completely at fault, he definitely was a major factor, simply and completely because in this screenshot, it is confirmed that Vix told this person to himself, and this incident happened very shortly after. This victim also states clearly that Vix was the main event that destabilized him, and he's continuously had dark thoughts about himself. While he does state that there's a lot else going on in his personal life, you cannot discount the destabilizing primary event of Vix telling him to kill himself and also abusing him for 3 months. Here is another screenshot of another victim of Vix's who also chose to remain anonymous. He directly states that Vix's treatment of him and his weaponization of his platform has turned him to. That is his words, not mine. Here is a screenshot indirectly harassing this person, and here is him directly naming him in a harassing way to disregard his criticism of what Vix has done. I really wish we didn't have to keep talking about how Vix mistreats the mentally down, but here we go. Here is another screenshot of one of Vix's good friends talking to him. You can very clearly see that this person is in a crisis and has turned to a very negative coping mechanism in drinking. Vix's response is, "It kind of hurts me when I want to talk to you because I had a really mentally draining day just to find you talking to someone else." Just completely disregarding the fact that this person is in a crisis and just making it about himself. On this next screenshot, you can see that Vix got upset for not receiving a reply within 3 hours, and then the person calmly responded with, "Hey, I'm on a break." He then states something very clear and very definitive in the fact that he doesn't owe Vix a response, which is completely true. Vix then calls him an ass and then tries to cut ties with him. This being an attempt to reverse the roles and make himself look like the victim. Moving on to this screenshot, he asks if him being around is bothering him and if everything is good. Vix responds with, "I'm upset with you over a lot of things." When asked what he had done that was upsetting Vix, Vix refuses to elaborate, saying that he's not ready to talk, which if you read into more than a second, you realize that that leaves the other person hurt and confused and not sure what he did wrong and unable to grow or change. You can see that he says that yes, we can talk, but I am 99% sure that this is just them continuing friendly conversation because only a few messages above he said he's not ready to talk about what he has done to, in quotes, wrong Vix. Basically keeping up communication while holding up whatever he did wrong just over his head and holding that poker chip on him in case he needs it. Unfortunately, this is a recognizable pattern in Vix. Every single time it's brought up to him that he might have hurt somebody, he doesn't show any empathy or remorse towards them. When he found out that he might have hurt his friend, and I asked him to go console his friend because he came to me saying that he felt hurt, Vix brought up a years-old agreement saying if he's hurt, that's on him. Great way to treat your friends there, bud. Not only was this a good friend, but a situationship and romantic interest that Vix had had for years. The fact of the matter is that you're hurting people, and this video is here to warn your potential victims and show your current victims that they're not alone. Letting them vent to me and me giving them support instead of using that to bully them like you did with one of the victims. This is the same victim from earlier in the video who said that Vix's treatment of him and his weaponization of his platform has led to his ideation. This person was going through a very rough time, and Vix's response to that, to him asking to vent, was indirectly stating that like him would be better for everyone if they just disappeared, directly weaponizing people's dislike for negativity as an excuse to bully the mentally down. Next up, we're going to talk about his current significant other. His name is Chris Snowhoof. So Chris was in a relationship with my good friend. His name is Reed. Reed informs me that he was basically strong-armed into opening the relationship, and he said it's okay as long as it's not romantically. Chris directly stating that if this didn't happen, that he would be okay with just being friends. Reed then started watching a stream where Chris and Vix were playing together and made himself known. In the stream, Chris and Vix were flirting romantically and high and away cheating from the agreement that they made to only be open and not romantically, even insinuating that they would live together. While producing the first video, a former friend of Vix's actually revealed that Vix considered Chris his secret boo friend and secretly his for a long time. Whenever questioned about this, Vix will directly lie to your face about it, saying that boo friend is play on best friend. If that were the case, why was he your secret boo friend? And why were you saying that he was secretly yours? And he states that flirting isn't cheating, which is fantastic if he was actually part of the relationship. The thing is that he doesn't have any say on what's cheating in Reed's and Chris's relationship because he's not in it. You don't get to define what cheating is. The people in the relationship do. And let's remember that Reed defined the relationship as open, not romantically. So romantic flirting is cheating. But don't just take it from me. I even asked Reed himself if he considered romantic flirting cheating, and he said yeah. That, with the really flimsy excuse that boo friend meets best friend, just completely tears apart this lie. And here's the important part. Vix never denies calling Chris his secret boo friend. And now that we know that that means his secret boyfriend, because all of his excuses don't make any fucking sense. If boo friend met best friend, then why was he your secret boo friend, and why were you secretly his? And the fact that Reed himself has defined that what him and Chris did on stream was cheating, we can infer that the screenshot shown before, which being this one, was completely correct. So let's read into more on that. The bottom part of this screenshot being the most important, that being said that this was around May before they got together. So we have information saying that Vix was calling Chris his secret boo friend from around May. So at the very, very least, this has been going on for 2 months. During those 2 months, Chris, how many times did you tell Reed that you loved him? Answer that seriously in the comments. I want to know. Because for at least those 2 months, you gave my good friend a life that is a complete and utter lie. And to Vix, you know that this relationship started with cheating. Are you sure it won't end in cheating? Sure, you trust Chris with everything, but so did Reed. By the way, didn't you say that you didn't want a relationship and that you were happy being single? That you weren't trying to get with anyone? And then posting this within the hour of the other one? Adding on to this, which we have proven is a lie. This one's even funnier because I can prove it's a lie without even dissecting it. Do you think someone would do that? Go on the internet and tell lies? Oh man, I have alts in his server. I completely forgot to mention that. Well, except I don't. This is another lie. I mentioned this once, but this is the only evidence of me having a burner, and it's only in the Telegram rack pack. Here is quite legitimately all of my servers on my main account, and here is my entire alt account, the entire thing. Here's the thing, Vix. I made a mistake, but I took accountability and I corrected myself, the proof being the beginning of this video. So why are you so desperately holding on that you're innocent and that nothing happened at Anthrocon, and just because you made up with your friends that everything's hunky-dory, like they're not still hurt about what happened? Why are you still lying when I have two people telling me the exact same story who were both there? You also conveniently left out that you were harassing your friend for 3 months, telling them awful things, culminating in telling them to f themselves. So how did Vix and Chris respond to my criticism? Well, I can make a cancel video. Just edit it better than mine was. That editing drove me nuts. It was so bad. Huh. It seems like Vix actually wiped his entire channel after criticizing my editing. Brother, you can't do one more take to get snorting right? Are you serious? He loved this comment, but it actually just is more proof that nobody knew what the fucking point of the video was. The video was so bad that it took people a while to understand. But yeah, it's safe to say that Chris and Vix were not really happy with the fact that they got a video, despite Vix indirectly asking to be criticized. But they did the absolute worst thing they could have done. Instead of taking the criticism on the head, accepting it and being like, oh, maybe I should treat people better. No, they started joking about it over and over and over and over again. Not only that, but Vix started obsessively watching my blue sky, looking for any little thing that could be mentioning him. Completely and unequivocally proven by the fact that I made a video and I posted it to my blue sky, which he's not following, and him responding in under 2 hours. He stalks my account, bro. He then puts out a horrific statement saying that we just don't accept his new SO and that he might be a bad person, but his boyfriend isn't. This post was so bad that even Reed, the ex of Chris Snowhoof, goes public just to dismantle this post. Vix then has the gall to tell me that he gets me views. Can you get a whiff of that ego? Keep making great vids. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's a really big change of pace of when I'm not being interacted with. What's really funny is the majority of people that I hurt still talk to me on a weekly basis. I need you to sit down and like open your brain to learn something new today, because it will genuinely change your life. Even though you might have, in quotes, patched things up with people and they still talk to you, that doesn't mean that they aren't deeply hurt. And cropping chats, yeah, that's what happens when you need to keep things relevant. And I've already proven in length that you lie through your teeth. But to the viewer, seriously, stop listening to somebody just because they have a higher number on social media, or if they have more friends and have mutual friends with them. It is why people like Vix are allowed to bully people to, which has been proven twice in this video. It's because they have enough mutual friends that they'll believe anything that Vix says. Just because they are popular, it does not mean they're a saint. Like, seriously, I genuinely am here just to stop you from hurting people. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to cancel you. I've been saying that over and over and over again, and it's in the disclaimer of this video. The only problem is you directly affected me and a bunch of other people with your abuse. And you are fucking lucky that nobody's taken their life because of your actions yet. But you are getting damn close, and that's why this video exists. Anyways, to shift away from that, while talking to him in that thread, I accidentally called him Vox instead of Vic, because, you know, the keys are literally right next to each other. Makes it his banner, even to this day. That rolls me into my next point. Again, I'm not trying to cancel you. These videos were a mirror to hold up to you so that you can, you know, grow and change as a person. But you need to realize that the more you talked about it and the more you memed about it, the more traction it got and the more people were exposed to how bad of a person you were, which was not my intention, like I just stated. I made the videos, yes, but everybody's seeing what you've done. That's on you. The very fact of the matter is that Vix has absolutely nothing of substance to swing at me back with, because if he had proof and evidence, and if I was lying, then him and his friends would have already presented that already. The fact that I have gotten absolutely nothing but support and absolutely no resistance on these videos proves that I'm right. And I don't even need that. My video is littered with receipts. They're everywhere. The entire time that I've interacted with Vix on Blue Sky and Discord, he has just told me that I'm lying and is just deflecting. He absolutely, for the life of him, cannot bring up any evidence that supports his case, and only interacts with me when he has ammo against me, like when I got recently banned from a Discord server. I'm sorry, Vix, but that doesn't affect me. Your insults are as hollow as your deflections and lies. Disprove my videos. Come on, show me that I'm lying. Show any evidence. I will be here when you have anything of substance. If you ever choose to take accountability and address what actually happened, I'll reconsider the need for this video. But until then, this will be up.